I think we're live now. Welcome to your favorite cryptopreneurship show. My name is Paul, and today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about altcoins. We're going to be talking about some dangers that I am seeing that you need to know. Again, I'm here to tell you what you need to know or what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you all about Bitcoin price. Is there some hope? What levels we're looking at? We're going to do some technical analysis live with you here today, and I will be answering all your questions. But before I begin, I have to say welcome to the chat. Please ask your questions. We'll be answering them as many as I can, as many as possibly humanly can before I finish the live stream. And I will be going to Token 2049 next in Dubai. I'm actually going to be there on the 27th of April until the 3rd of May because I have some other business to do there. First of all, I'll be speaking at an event right before that on the 28th and 29th. I'll have more details for you that later on because I don't have all the details yet. But at Token 2049, I will be there, and in the description down below, if you want to come, you can actually get a 10% discount off your tickets. I don't make any money out of this. It's on an affiliate link, but you do get 10%, and I do get some credibility in the events like, oh my God, look, the Crypto Factor bought us these guys. Let's bring them home next year, and so on. So please, feel free to check it out. And let's have a look at the Bitcoin price. Let's just start with the Bitcoin price. And again, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. So, looking at the factor line here, and yes, this is my own indicator. This is not available anywhere. You can only get this if you buy my course, in which you'll get a lifetime subscription. But again, let's not talk about that right now. If you look at my indicator here, you will see that we are generally bullish over here, and you saw the turning point right here. And you also were warned to sell up here, and if you knew how to do some TA like I do, you would have been out a little bit earlier. But even if you just followed this line, you would have been out here, and a second warning here. Now, right now, we are staying below the factor line for too long. What do I mean by too long? We at least wanted to get above this lower line and then this top line over here on the factor line. And we saw this move over here. We were pretty bullish about this, but the factor line was warning us, as a matter of fact, about this. It was warning us even on the 4 hour. Let me just have a look real quick. Yeah, see, we were bullish. It was telling us we were bullish, but it gave us a warning, told us to get out here. And what do you know? We continued coming down over here. And this is not a good thing. Now, over here, our SFP level, if you see it right here, swing failure pattern, this is where we actually bought on the 4 hour. And you would typically stay in until price goes lower than that. If price goes lower than that, it also happens to be a mid-range here, then you would get even more bearish. But we have the lower range of 78,000 right here. And you can see it gave us the buy signal under 78,000. But I'm here to tell you right now that if we get under this range over here, this lower range of 78,000, that's not a good look. That's not good. That's not good at all. Not only that, if we look at the 200-day, we're actually under the 200. So let me just select the 200 just so we can have a better view here, what's going on. As you can see, we're well below the 200, but we at least need to get above this factor line over here, and we're just not. Let's just go to the daily. It will give us a better view real quick. Yep, so this is actually pretty dangerous here. So does that mean we're going to go down, we're bearish, get all out of all markets? No. Of course, the factor stack over here, the trend stacker over here also shows bearish. But this can come down a little bit lower. Maybe we reverse at this candle over here. Let's see what happens, 81,000, and try and go back up. But generally speaking, the lower we stay here, the worse it is. Bitcoin is a bit bearish right now. Now, if we look at the hourly, we might see another picture. Nope, we're also on the hourly now. This was actually gold. The 4 hour and the hourly were gold. Now they're both red. What this means basically is either you get out or you at least don't get in and you sit in your hands. If you took the position at the SFP point down here, whether it's on the hourly, whether it's on the daily, doesn't matter, then you would patiently wait and your exit would be below that, and then we would reevaluate. But right now, you wouldn't be buying. You wouldn't be buying right now because there is no support. There's no buy signals, there's no SFP levels, there's nothing right now. So according to the factor line, it's sitting on your you would be sitting on your hands. And of course, according to me, I would tell you to do the same because the factor line is actually built the way I trade. So this is actually something that even the 50, we have to wait and see. So let's take let's strip this down real quick to the bare minimum. Let's keep raging in swings. Let's switch off these dojis real quick. And let's also switch off these EMAs. So looking at this right now, we have to see if these ranges hold. This is the lower range over here. We have another range over here, right here where I have my my mouse right now, 81.96. Let's see if this holds. Yeah, next support is over here at this level over here that we talked about. So we just wait and see. So it's not, there's no way to hide this. This is actually a bearish chart. Now, does that mean that we're bearish? Does that mean we're going to continue? No, it doesn't mean that. It's not 100%. We're still in the lower range. We just really need to break over the 200 pretty soon in the next week or two, or we're in deep trouble. That's all I'm saying here, or at least that's what the chart is telling us. And when you do charts, when you do technical analysis, you don't need to get the whole move. You don't need to get the absolute top or bottom, even though we did actually call it. It doesn't call it every time, by the way. But even though we got these bottoms over here and this top, even if we would just get out here and get in on the gold parts, you're good to go for a long-term investor. So this is Bitcoin. If we look at crypto bubbles on the daily, though, I did tell you in the last week or two, a couple of videos and live streams, I told you that SUI is extremely bullish, so is Move, even though it's a bit down on the daily over here. But I told you, even Paul, I think we talked about it a little bit, but SUI and Move is extremely bullish, so is Beam. And you can see this better, especially when it comes to SUI and Move on the weekly. Beam is only 7.3% down, yes, we get that, but look at SUI, look at Move. These are both green, they are outliers in at least our favorites right here, in our favorite cryptocurrencies over here. These are two of our outliers. And if we go to the monthly, yes, they're down. But again, they've showed strength. They've showed in and out strength. And we did look at them separately. And they are showing strength. So if you are going to get into altcoins, I would only get into large altcoins right now, to be very honest with you. And if I did, I would mostly get into SUI, Move, maybe Solana, Beam, especially because of all the nodes and everything that's going on, and so on. By the way, if you haven't delegated a Beam node, or if you're planning to buy a Beam node, delegate it to the Crypto Factor node. There's a whole video and guide there that's on my site. It's in the videos, and not only that, you can actually buy cheap nodes right now, secondhand on the marketplace. You can get them for like $600, $700. They cost $3,600. So you can actually get them on a discount. And if you're interested in that, then you want to go to my channel real quick over here. Let's have a look. Go to the videos tab, scroll down, right here, Beam node. This video right here is a step-by-step guide, how to delegate your node, how to claim your node if you haven't, but get yourself a node and stake it. It's actually very good. It's good rewards. And we have worked with Frederick from our group here. He's my partner in this. We're making the node factor where we actually run nodes for you to delegate to. And we're trying to get it like the full safety and industry standards, if you will, when it comes to that. So check that out. But again, just came back not too long ago from Poland, NBX. Super event. I'm actually going to put out the video probably today after the live stream, maybe tomorrow, so you guys can check out. You don't want to miss that video. And it shows you a highlight. It's extremely funny. I warn you right now, it's extremely funny. But yeah, make sure you watch that video. I'll have it up soon. Probably tomorrow, maybe tonight. We'll see. But that's it. That's it. The grand scheme of things, that's about it. Like, there's nothing much to say here. I know you all want the bullishness, but I'm just here to tell you what it is right now. And right now, the least you could be doing is sitting on your hands, waiting to see if we get above that 200 weekly, and also the get back above the factor line. So with that said, let's answer some of your questions. Can't wait, Paul. See you in 25 minutes. You are here now, Chad. Welcome. Yo, says Yozer. What's up, man? Yasu Paul, says Bill S. If you're cooking, let the food burn. Charcoal is good for you. Yeah. If you haven't hit the like button right now, you have no excuse. Essentially, what is saying, no matter what you're doing right now, you should be hitting that like button. Why should you be hitting that like button? Well, because of the factor line, because I put a lot of money and resources and time to develop this for you. It's not out yet. But it's going to be, and we are going to do analysis with it every week, even if you don't own it. It's just that you're going to get a lot more trades if you do. And also, you have to understand that, yeah, you have to hit the like button. Now, you could be doing anything right now. You could be driving. You could be driving your motorbike. Maybe you have one of those helmets with a sound, and you're doing like 200 down the highway, and it's dangerous for you to hit the like button. Maybe your phone's in the pocket. That's fine. Let go of the steering wheel. Take out your phone at 200 kilometers an hour, hit that like button, put it back in your pocket. You should be okay. You should be fine. Hopefully no one's in front of you and you have to brake. If you're cooking right now and your phone's in the living room and you have your ear pods on and your food, you can't leave it. It's about to burn. If you go hit the like button, it's going to burn. It's okay. Let it burn. Let the food burn. Go inside, hit the like button. Charcoal's good for you. They put it in everything nowadays. They have it in toothpaste. They have it everywhere. Charcoal's good for, it's not carcinogenic at all. Go ahead, let it burn. And if you're having sex, if you're fucking right now, it's okay. Kind of weird, but it's okay. Lean over and hit that like button. She won't mind. Not weird at all. Go ahead. And yeah, I would appreciate the support. So with that said, let's see if you have any questions over here. Today for the big... real quick, before I continue, something pretty important. I'd say extremely important. Well, not extremely important. It's pretty important, but I just wanna make sure that I do this. A second. You're gonna like this. Well, hold up. You're gonna like this, okay? Let's go. Where is it? Desktop. Oh, it's in D. You're probably wondering, what the fuck, Paul, are you doing here? It's important. Trust me, this is important, okay? Trust the Paul. It's so important I can't find it. Oh, wait, here it is. Okay. There you go. Let me show you this. Quick disclaimer. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Read that. You gotta read this. You gotta abide by this. And understand that the speaker is indeed incredibly good looking and opinions are my own, looks included. So please read this. You know, don't tell me you didn't after. Apparently we have to put it in all videos, or at least in the description, but I want to put it in all videos, so I want to make sure it's there as well. So, and yes, we are making the version with Briffit Dance. Don't worry. It's coming, right? If you're a subscriber, you know what I mean. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead. But I see Mariana, hey. Mariana, hey. How are you? Where do I know you from, Mariana? I know you from somewhere. I think I know who you are. Go to channel. Are you Mariana? I think that's you. Give me a second. Learn English with Mariana. I'm not sure if you are working for the event. We met in NBX and we're meeting again in Dubai. I'm still waiting for the final confirmation from the sponsor to mention them. But Learn English with Mariana. I don't know if she's the lady from the event that I'm talking about, but from what I see, she's incredibly beautiful, so you should go check her out anyway. Don't mind me saying, Mariana. And if you are the sponsor communication in Dubai, that's going to be very awkward now. But hey, this is life, okay? This is life. So I'm seeing some messages here to answer. Happy Sunday, hit like and go. Yes, I sold once to buy back lower. It didn't work. It never works. Fair enough. It never works because you don't follow charts. Like, I'm sorry, but it never works because you're doing it blindly. You're selling because you think it's going to go lower. If you have the factor line, excuse me, you sell here and it's still going lower. So if you sold at the wrong place, if you sold here because you thought it was going to go lower, there was no sell here. It was gold. The sell was over here. So, yeah, don't blindly sell and try to buy lower, or if you don't know what you're doing or you don't understand technical analysis, because most people don't understand it. Most people don't know how to do it. That's why most people get wrecked, even the so-called experts out there. Live dangerously, should understand. Yeah. So Raja says black swan coming with a question mark. And this is an extremely important question, and I want to answer this. I want everyone to understand this. There is absolutely no way that you can know if a black swan is coming, because a black swan is a black swan because you don't know. It's unexpected. Let me explain the principles behind the black swan event, because a lot of people get it wrong on YouTube and on Twitter, and they're, oh, we had this black swan event and this one, and this, if this happens, this will be a black swan. No, it's not. A black swan is something that's totally non-expected. It's not expected. You can't call it, and you always find out about it after the actual event. Otherwise, it's not a black swan. And there's no such thing as a white swan. Like white swan events, calling markets white swans are bullish. It's stupid, because here's how it works. And I know a lot of people use white swan as an abbreviation, but it's wrong. It's completely wrong. Yes, even the economists that talk about it are wrong. Because a black swan event is called a black swan because it's rare. It's extremely rare to see a black swan. That's why it's called a black swan event. A white swan is common. They're all over the place, like pigeons, right? You can always see white swans. They're not rare. So just because a black swan event, right, is usually something that the markets go down, understand that a black swan event can also be bullish. It's something that very rarely can happen, you unexpected, and is extremely bullish, okay? But usually it's towards black swan. But it's not a racial thing. It's not like white swans are good, black swans are bad. Okay? This is not racism. It's just that white swans are common, black swans are rare. So you cannot predict a black swan event. Does that make sense? All right? So just to clear that up. You grow, I grow, my man, what's up? We cooked at least another month. Chop likely end of... Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Bill is thinking of selling some Solana for Ondo and Beam. Already hold Sui. Thoughts, buddy? You could diversify into Sui and Beam. They're actually pretty strong. And they are showing more strength. Last time I looked, compared them to Bitcoin, compared them to other cryptocurrencies, they are looking extremely bullish compared to Solana. So if you have a large stack of Solana and you want to diversify into some Sui or Beam, yes, I would. I personally would. If I didn't have Solana or Beam, I personally would. And I did, because I actually bought a bunch of nodes as well, and a bunch of tokens and staked them to our nodes. So yes. Thank you, Bobby, for clarifying what I just said. Yes. How about Caucasian swans? You got a Caucasian swan. That's so funny, man. The swan and the swan hate got to stop. Yeah, there's a swan on swan hate, man. It's crazy. Clear, bro. Thanks. No problem, Raj. I just wanted to clarify, because a lot of people throw out terms and they don't understand what the hell they're doing. It's just like candlesticks. Everyone, you're saying technical, a lot of people tell you technical analysis doesn't work because YouTubers get it wrong and they don't explain it well and so on. And you have to understand it's not 100%, it's just probabilities. But also, you have to understand they're doing it wrong. Let me show you candlesticks, okay? Let me just show you an example here. This is actually kind of fun. All right, give me a second. Candlesticks. Let's have a look at, let's just find an image real quick. Give me a second. Should we do this one? Yep. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Let me show. All right. And I don't really want to call these guys out, but I'm just going to show you this website. And you understand that most YouTubers go by this. They go by things like this, and that's why they're getting it wrong. They don't understand. They repeat it to get the views. They think they're traders. They make some money in the bull market. They completely get wrecked, take everybody with them because they don't understand what the fuck they are doing, okay? Look. This is a single candlestick pattern definition and types, okay? Now, you can see the Marubozu right here, it's bullish. The hammer right here is bullish. Inverted hammer, bullish. Spinning top doji, dragonfly doji. Okay. And then you got the equivalent bearish ones over here. And the more to the right you go, apparently is less bullish. And the more to the right go is less bearish over here. Okay, now understand one thing, all right? See this hammer over here? See this hammer, number 2? Yeah, you see it? That's not a fucking hammer, okay? That's not a hammer by definition. A hammer, the wick of the hammer or the shadow needs to be at least twice as big as the body. This here, does this look like it's twice as big as the body? It's less, if not half that. This is completely false. This should not be here at all. Okay? How do I know this? Because I studied candlesticks prior 2014, and the way I learned from Steve Nissan. Who is he? The creator or the founder of candlesticks that brought them from the east to the west. Okay? My mentor back then gave me full courses worth over $16,000 at the time. And I sat there studying, reading, and learning. And then when I used to teach technical analysis and fundamental analysis in the Forex industry for teletrade and profit point, I was teaching this shit. Okay? So, this is not a hammer. Also, it's not bullish. It's somewhat bullish. So, you have to understand that a hammer, first of all, is only a hammer when it's the bottom of a trend. So, you have to have a downtrend for it to be considered a hammer. If it's in the middle or the top, it's not a hammer. It's actually called something else, or it's nothing. All right? So that's key point number 1. Key point number 2, it's bullish if it's at the bottom of the trend, but it needs a longer wick. Okay? Now, the inverted hammer here. This one's not bullish. This is the one I wanted to tell you is not bullish. Although they got it right, this is not bullish. Why is this not bullish? Because this has to be at the bottom of a trend to be an inverted hammer. And if it is at the bottom of the trend, it's not really that much used. It's somewhat bullish. It should be over here somewhere after the doji and after the dragonfly, by the way. It should be last, the less bullish. This one right here, the inverted hammer. By the way, if it's at the top of a range, it's not an inverted hammer, it's a shooting star. Okay, so there's a lot of nuances here, and this is why people get completely wrecked. Okay, doji says it says over here it's less bullish, and over here it's less bearish, and it has the red one as bearish and the green one as bullish. No, this is false. It doesn't matter what color it is. If it's at the bottom of a trend, it's more bullish, and it's not really bullish, it's more of a trend reversal. And if it's at the top, it's basically bearish. It doesn't matter what color it is. It could be red, it could be green at the top, and yes, they can happen, and the same at the bottom. It does not, this is completely false. Okay? Completely false. Dragonfly doji over here. It's the correct shape, but it's extremely bullish, a lot more bullish than an inverted hammer if it's the bottom of a trend. So essentially, not only people are saying that technical analysis doesn't work, but people don't even know how to do technical analysis. And I see this from YouTubers all the time. I'm going to have to turn on the air conditioner. I'm getting pissed off again. I see this from YouTubers all the time. It's irresponsible to talk about candlesticks when you don't understand candlesticks. Right? It takes many years to learn this shit. At least get it right. At least when you talk about candles, don't just copy a site, because more than often, and this is basically, I've seen so many people use this chart and say, it's wrong. It's completely wrong. And thank you for the chat, who gave me a super, Bill S, thank you so much for the chat, man. Really appreciate you for the super chat. It's wrong. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then the people say technical analysis doesn't work. Why? Because they don't understand them. But the people they listen to don't understand it either. They're like, oh, I saw your technical analysis is wrong. It probably is wrong because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Right? So be very careful where you get this technical analysis info from. This is part of my course, by the way. I'm doing a Candlestick course within my course, Invest, Trade, and Think Like the Crypto Factor. It's in the links down below, and you do get the factor line with it. It's expensive. It's $1,297 right now, and it will go up to $1,500. So understand that it's an expensive course. It's not for everybody, but you learn how to invest like me. You learn how to trade like me. You learn how to think like me, and you get the factor line. And it's pre-bought. You're pre-buying it at an early bird price. It should be out in a couple of weeks to a month tops. The beta version should be out much, much sooner than that. And you can use the indicator from day one. So check it out if you want to check it out. But understand, if you want to trade, if you need to learn how to trade, you need to know how to trade. And it's something, the problem with trading is you have to keep trading, keep learning, and things change. Something like a lot of times you see, this is why bots don't really work. Like, oh, just buy oversold. No, you don't just buy oversold because one, that could change in a couple of months. So your bot stops working, and that's why you have to keep on updating the bots. Two, depends on trend, depends on market conditions, depends on a whole bunch of other factors. It's not that simple. This is why copying somebody else who doesn't even know what he's talking about, but even if he does know what he's talking about, doesn't work because you don't know how to react when it gets invalidated. Does that make sense? So it's extremely hard to trade. And anyway, let's have a look at what else, other questions you have here. What about Ondo? Would you sell some Solana for Ondo? Selling Solana for Ondo is debatable. You could do it, but it's if you want to get more into RWA, but I think Solana is going to be very powerful as well. So yes, you can, but try not to get rid of all your Solana. I know a lot of people are bearish on Solana right now, but you don't really want to sell all your Solana. Just trust me, bro. Just trust me on that. I think it's going to do extremely well. Bobby says, if TA actually worked, it would be automated by a computer. If it's yes, but it's not a simple set of rules because the rules change, right? Because a shooting star is actually a hammer at the bottom of a trend, but it's a shooting star at the top, and it's traded differently. And if you want to know, let me give you let me give you an example. Let me understand first of all. Well, let me give you an example live. So this is the factor line right here. Let's get rid of all indicators real quick and just look at candles, okay? This is how you're supposed to do technical analysis. All right? And I'm not going to look at the colors of the candles here, but there is because I want to keep it simple right now, but I'm just going to keep it red and gold. All right? All right, so what is this candle here? This candle right here. Do you know what it is? It's a hammer. We just talked about it, okay? It's got a long wick, it's got a small body, and it's a hammer, and it's the bottom of the trend. Now, the longer the body, the more momentum, so it's more important, but it changes as well. But this is at the bottom of the trend. So we came down here. You can see it. We came down. Yes? And then you have the hammer right here. Now, so how would you trade this? Well, first of all, you see that this is a hammer, and the price actually started coming up. Okay, so it confirmed on this candle over here. By the way, this candle here, it's called an engulfing candle. It's called an engulfing candle. I'm going to tell you a secret right now. It's going to blow everybody out there that knows technical analysis. I'm going to blow your mind because you probably don't know this. You probably don't know, not that it's an engulfing candle, but what I'm going to say next. So bear with me right now. So this here is an engulfing candle. So this is your confirmation. As you can see, price came up. Now, when you have a candle like this, at the bottom, a hammer, you use it in specific ways. And one way to use it is with resistance. With a support. So your support is at the bottom of the candle. So this becomes a range. And this is where you would step your stop loss. You would put your stop loss, because that would mean if the price goes under that, that's invalidation. That invalidates the candle. So what does this do for you? You buy at that point. You don't just buy anywhere. You buy at that point, but you set your stop loss underneath, because you know that if it goes underneath, it's invalidated. Or if you're an investor and you have a mental stop loss, you know that, oh, well, wait a second, this is invalidation. Now, candlesticks alone, you're not supposed to use them alone, by the way. They're not a trading system. Okay, they're a tool. You're supposed to use it with more technical analysis. How do you use it more? Okay, candlesticks are Eastern technical analysis. You have Western technical analysis, and you're supposed to combine them both. You're supposed to combine Eastern, Western, and management. It's actually a triangle. Okay, so let me show you. And I'll do this for you so you can understand technical analysis. I'm not sure people tell you about this the way I'm telling you. So we talked about this engulfing candle over here. Now, engulfing candles, a lot of people watching this right now that are traders are going to say, Paul, you're wrong. This is not an engulfing candle because it's supposed to grab the whole candle. First of all, it's not. It's not supposed to grab the wicks as well. It's supposed to grab just the body. But second of all, you might be saying, Paul, okay, but it still has to engulf the body. It has to be like kind of engulf the top and bottom of the candle. No, it doesn't. It does in stocks, but not on crypto. Why? Can you imagine why? Because crypto is like Forex, meaning it's 24 hours. There's seldom any closes. So there's a few nuances here. So when you have a candle that engulfs, that opens and closes on the same level as the previous one, this is considered an engulfing candle when you're trading crypto, but not if you're trading stocks. Does that make sense? Technical analysis does work. You just need to know how to use it and understand the foundation behind it to be able to apply it. Because right now everyone's trying to do TradFi on crypto. There's some nuances, there's some difference. Now let's go on because there's more to this. Let's just switch off. Let's just delete what I just drew here because I want to show you something important. Well, actually, no, let me not show you something important. Let me not delete this. Let me just show you something. All right, let's go to the indicator real quick. Go to the settings, and let's turn on range pattern, and let's switch on swing failure pattern. And I'm going to switch on something else in a second so I can show you when charts can be wrong. Because you have to know when charts can be wrong so you can understand. This is why you need to know technical analysis so you can understand when charts can be wrong, right? Because you can read them better than the computer sometimes. Let me show you. Where's the range here? The range would have been here like I drew, and it is the range. But now you have a bottom range over here at the next candle over here as well, at the SFP point. So you had this point and this point. Now, the chart is actually doing this range over here, but if you know how to do technical analysis, you know that when you do technical analysis, you're supposed to draw ranges at certain points. Shit. So you can find with the intra ranges. So the factor line will find you the outliers of the basic ranges on its own, but you have to know technical analysis to be able to draw them as well. And you see that it's respecting certain ranges. Now, as we're doing this on Bitcoin, look at this. This is a support right now. If it breaks under, it has to hold this range. If it breaks under this range, it's what we said in the beginning of the video. But see how me knowing about this candlestick, about this hammer right here, what the difference is. Now here's why it might not work. If I switch on my indicator real quick, and this is my indicator, and I want to, still fixing it by the way, so I'm trying to get it as best as I can. I'm going to turn off the swing and the ranges and everything, and I'm going to put on hammer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete, or try to delete all this stuff I drew. What do you notice? If you're saying it's not calling out the hammer, it's not telling you that there's a hammer there, you're completely right. Probably it's not seeing it as a hammer. because it's seeing it as a dragonfly doji, which has the exact same utility on how to trade, but it's called in a different name. So it could be a dragonfly doji, fair enough, but it's not traded like a doji, it's traded like a hammer. So you have to know what you're doing in order to understand. Also, you're saying technical analysis doesn't work. If you got in right here when it's gold and you got out when it's red, when were you wrong? You're saying technical analysis doesn't work. By the way, just saw another dragonfly doji right here. Check this out. Dragonfly doji right here. What did the price do? Essentially, you would take this as your range down here. If it goes under, it would be invalidated. What did it do? What did the price do? Everyone was saying it's coming down, it's bearish. But we saw the dragonfly doji. What happened? Went up, broke up above the factor line. This confirmed, by the way, and it continues going up here. So technical analysis does work. Just because you don't know how to use it, bro, or if you're learning it from the wrong people, it's not that technical analysis doesn't work. It's that you don't know how to use it. It's not like driving doesn't work. It's just you don't know how to drive. And I'm not being disrespectful here. I'm just explaining to you a few things so you can understand why it's dangerous listening to YouTubers that don't know what they're talking about. Look, when it comes to technical analysis, I'm not an expert. I'm not. I'm just really good at it. Right? So you have to understand that you have to get your information from the right source. Stop listening to people that don't know what they're talking about. Now, let me drink some water. Let me see what other questions we have. Let me look at, see the hammer, that's not a hammer, laugh out loud. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you are referring to what, dude, I could, like, seriously, you don't have to, listen, I can explain things to you, I can't understand them for you. Oh, you're talking about what I was showing on the internet. Yeah. Okay, I thought you were like trying to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I was about to get defensive there. Bobby's saying, do you have candlestick machine in all men's bathrooms? Let me tell you a little secret. When in 2016, 2017, before I got into crypto, I was just getting into crypto and I was working as a sales director, coach, mentor at a telecommunication company where we're selling stuff over the phone. I was like a telesales, telemarketing team. And just so you know, my track record, I've been in sales, marketing, and consumer psychology for over 25 years. That's something I am an expert on. I've written multiple books on it. They're over there. Now, and we were evaluating sales reps. And I actually conducted an experiment with about 20 sales reps to see if technical analysis worked in the sense of support resistance, to see who's going to become better, who's going to become worse over time. And a lot of people that were considered bad by the owner actually turned out, I told them, look, they're ranging up. They're going to become good. They're getting better. And it turned out they were better. Now, the study was only with 20 people, so it's very small. You have to conduct it massive to see if it actually works. But technical analysis does work. You just need to know how to apply it and use it. But you don't know you are at the top of the range, yo. Fair enough. Let me just show you something so you can understand. So you tell me. So you don't know if you're at the top of the range. First of all, yes you do, because you draw this. Okay, here. If I understand you correctly, I'm gonna explain this to you in a certain way. All right. So let's say you have a range here, and you can use the wicks as well, right? I'm just doing this. This is a top range, and let's say the bottom range is here. Keep on forgetting to do this. It's different on MetaTrader 4 that I used to use. All right, it's not exact, but let's say this is a range right here. And this is the top of the range. And you're saying you don't know if it's the top of the... Well, first of all, you know that there's reversal here. There's resistance. You can see it here. By the way, shooting star. Right? You can see this over here. You can see this. You can see this resistance over here, and you see it's rejecting it. And you have certain ranges. Okay, you have a range here. You have another range here. Give me a second. There you go, right here. So you're in this range. Now you're saying you don't know it's the top. No, you don't. But you know that you're in this range. You can see it. So if you break down, you get out. Even the factor line told you to get out here. And if you break up, you're a momentum trader, you get in. Technical analysis is not knowing 100% is what's going to happen. It's probabilities and knowing how to react on certain formations and what to do. And that's basically it, right? So you're getting in blindly and you're saying it doesn't work because you don't understand it, but it does work. It's just that you don't understand how to apply it. And you want it to work out perfectly every time, like Nostradamus predictions. No. It's probabilities. And you, like, for example, here. You're in this range. We came under the range. This was a fake out. Came back under. This was stay out. Even if this here confused you, which by the way is still red, we didn't get back in. But even if this confused you over here, we go back under the range. This is again resistance. You're under. You don't get in. You sell. Paul, why should I sell? I'm already in a loss because you came all the way down here. And you have to wait till it becomes support again. And there's a lot more. There's a lot more to that, right? There's a lot more. But you have to understand that technical analysis is like music. You don't understand it until you learn how to read the notes. When you read the notes, it speaks to you. If you look at a music chart right now, you don't know what the fuck it's talking about. You don't know what that is. You don't know what those notes are. But once you learn it, you understand it. Then it's a whole language. It's like Greek. You don't speak Greek. If you look at Greek right now, you don't understand anything. But once you understand what those little symbols or those little letters are, you start understanding Greek. It speaks to you. It's a whole language. It's the same thing with technical analysis. Everything has technical analysis. If you really think about it, everything has guidelines and rule books. That's what technical analysis is. Do you know what I mean? Mariana, hey, no, Paul, didn't participate in the event. I just bought some of Fact and now into some SRC20 tokens. Yeah, thank you, Mariana, for mentioning that. So SRC20 tokens, we're waiting for Bitcoin to come back into narrative. And this is, as I was telling you about back then, it's a very long-term play. When we were talking about SRC20 tokens, it was right in the beginning, before you could even buy them on the website. Like, there was no UI. You had to buy them through GitHub, right? And the price went up tremendously. And then at some point, there was a lot of hype around there. And we actually got in some early trades. But right now, they're pretty much down. We have to wait and be patient. They're long-term plays. Okay? That's got to do with SRC20 tokens. As for Fact, that was a coin that I released. You have to understand, when you open up an SRC20 token, when you launch an SRC20 token, the SRC20 token is not owned by you. So when I launched Fact, you have to understand that it's not like proof of stake where you put in liquidity and you can take out liquidity or anything. No, I bought Fact token just like you at the same price. Until those 21 tokens get minted, like everyone buys some, it's exactly the same price for everyone, including myself. Does that make sense? I did not buy them cheaper. And we're waiting for that trend to come back in. And Fact token, I might actually do something with it in the future. We talked about that. But right now is not the time. Bobby says it takes years to learn, it's not useful. If it takes years to learn, it's not useful. Okay, Bobby, let me challenge you. How long does it take for you to become a lawyer? 8 years? Okay. How about a doctor? 6 years. Is that not useful? Does that not make you money? Well, becoming a technical analyst might take you 2, 3, maybe 4 years. That's a long time. But you can make more than a lawyer, more than a doctor, and have your own occupation. You can become a trader. So why is it not useful? You know why else is not useful? You just mentioned above that you got wrecked. That you tried to sell and buy lower and you got completely wrecked. Why is it not useful? It takes years to learn a lot of things. It takes years to learn how to do YouTube. Is it not useful? A lot of people say it's not. People think you just switch on the camera and talk. Not that easy. So, again, I don't know what it's just your innate instincts learns over years of trading. I don't know what you're talking about, man, there. Any rule based on system can be automated by computer. Okay, you can look. All right. So this is the point where I gotta ask you: are you a millionaire? Have you made over $1 million in your life? Because I have. Okay. So unless you're making more money than me in trading or investing or anything like that, then please don't keep challenging me on this. Because you can't tell me something doesn't work. It doesn't work for you because you can't do it or you don't believe it. Right? It's like steroids. So when I used to work out, I used to work out a lot. And people used to say it's impossible to get big without steroids. And in some sense, the extremities of becoming a bodybuilder, yes, I would agree. But let me ask you something real quick. Give me a second. Let me just humor me for 1 second. And I'll give you the best example right now. And believe me, I'll come to technical analysis with this. This is me at 105 kilos before I got cancer. Now be careful what I just said. 105 kilos and I have a 6-pack. Okay? Well, actually I have almost an 8-pack. 105 kilos. Do you understand how much mass and body mass it takes to actually do that? Bear with me, let me give you another example that might be a little bit clear. More clear. Give me a second here. And I do have a point for this. I'm not trying to persuade you. I don't care if you do technical analysis or you make money or not. I just want to try and help people out there listening to you so that because they're like, oh, maybe technical analysis doesn't work, or they're in a journey and you're actually telling them to stop right now, or you're putting down their hopes. Because just because you can't do something doesn't mean somebody else can't. Right? People used to say I can't become a video director or producer. I'm on IMBD. Believe it or not. Give me a second here. Gotta find it. Gotta go back. Fuck's sake. Take me back to the old school. Take me back to the old school. Give me a second. There you go. This is me again around 2012-ish. Or 2008, I can't remember when, but it's before I got cancer. I posted this in 2018, it was before that. Before I got cancer, all right? Now, everybody back then was accusing me of taking steroids. And yes, that is Roger Ver. Was accusing me of taking steroids. And if you go back different times in my life, you'll see different body types. You'll see different, this is my Instagram, by the way, MC Paul D, just like Twitter. This was when I was in Poland. You'll see different instances of my life here. And you'll see at certain points that I was extremely, extremely fit. And this is when I had cancer, by the way. Photo shoot anyway. Let's see. And sorry if I'm digressing, but I really want this picture again. Yes, I'm proud of it. Now we're getting back to when I used to work out and fight and all that stuff. And used to be an MC, by the way. Let's see. Anyway, the more back you go, okay, this was a bit thinner on the cut here. But somewhere around here, I should have one with abs again. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You get the point. You get the point. You have to understand that when I started working out, people were saying you can't get big without steroids. Now, you have to understand also, I was a fat pig when I was young. And when I first lost weight at around 18, 19 years old and actually did some modeling, acting, and so on. That was without steroids, first of all. But everyone was telling me it was impossible for me to actually lose weight because I was really, really big and round. But I didn't listen to anybody and started working out. And I started working out from a young age. It took me a lot of years. Like, I was in the gym when I was 14, but I didn't do shit till I was like 18, 19. Like, I was trying, but I was a bit big, but nothing really worked. Now, over the years of going to the gym, in the beginning, it doesn't really work. Like, you get some different trains and stuff. And everyone jumps on steroids because they think you need testosterone to get big. And the thing is, you need a base. And the more you train, you start getting obsessed and learning. And you start learning technique, which is something like technical analysis. You start learning technique, you start learning nutrition, you start getting into all these little details. And you learn how to actually lift weights. And the people that never do that just go to the gym and they say, oh, you just lift, oh, it doesn't really work for me. It doesn't work for me because I have a slow metabolism. And I just need, you can only do that with steroids. It's completely false. It's completely false. It's also completely false when they tell you you'll never gain muscle again after you go through cancer 3 fucking times, which I did. And this is not bad for a 48 years old, right? It still has a lot more to go. Yes, I understand. But this was extremely hard to do because I didn't have the energy. Now, people might say, yeah, you're on TRT now. Yes, I am. But even before that, I still brought myself up 3 times because I knew how to go to the gym. I knew nutrition. I knew a few things. And you have to understand, and even though I'm fucked completely, like I'm on so much drugs because of my condition, I'm on antibiotics, I'm on blood thinners, I get this special drip every month or 2 for my immune system. I do all that shit. But because I know and I understand and I believe and I know how to go to the gym, I can still get fit and my upper chest is getting bigger again and so on, right? I'm getting there slowly. And this is because I'm persistent about it. No, you don't need, yes, it does work. Going to the gym does work. Just because you're skinny and you can't get big doesn't work. Just because you're fat and you can't go on a diet, you can't say it doesn't work. Just because you don't go to the gym, you're like, oh, I can't get big, it doesn't really work. You can only do it with steroids. No, it works. It's just that you can't do it because you don't believe it. Whether you believe you can do something or whether you believe you can't do something, you're right. In both senses, right? Now, you can continue arguing with me. I see a bunch of messages here, and I'll read some of them maybe. But we can agree to disagree if you want. Like, it's up to you. Please, feel free, go invest like a blind man like you've been doing. If that works for you, please continue. Right? But you really, I don't know. I said what I had to say. I can explain things to you, but I can't understand them for you. I can only lead you to water. I cannot force you to drink. You can only lead a horse to water, you can't force it to drink. It's up to you. And if you think it's too much time and it's not worth it and this and that and all these excuses, this is because I'm going to say this now and you're going to get pissed off. And I'm not going to tell you this to get pissed off because I want to offend you. I'm going to tell you this to get pissed off because maybe it will flip you. It's because you're lazy. You know why you're lazy? Not because you don't think technical analysis works. Because you said something. If it takes 2-3 years, it's not worth it. Tell me one fucking thing you can do out there and get a career in less than 3 years. One. Name one. One. You want, not doctor, not lawyer, anything. Tell me one that you don't have to study for years. Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. Stop being negative. Research a little bit more. You don't have to you don't have to become a technical analysis, but don't say it doesn't work when you don't understand it. Because because it does. Okay. Bitcoin down to 25K. Okay, I don't have no comment on that. I've spent too much time on this TA stuff. I want to talk to other people. So I'm not gonna sit here talking. So the person that now doesn't believe technical analysis tells me to use Hakenashi candles. Oh, stop. Stop, dude. Daily candles change because of your time zone? Really? In crypto? When you use technical analysis, you look at it at a certain... Look, I'm just going to stop. Like, I can't anymore. Moving over. I'm going to ignore any technical analysis. Not because I'm ignoring you, man, because I spend too much time on you. It's not fair to everybody else here. What's your time frame on market peaking? Some are saying within 3 to 4 months. I've been talking about this before. And I said I was expecting a dump in summertime. And I was saying that the peak would either come end of 2024, beginning 2025 for Bitcoin. Markets will continue, and then we'll have a drop, or we're going to have and go into a bear market, or it's going to be like a drop that will look like a bear market. Let me just re-say that because people think I just said 4 or 5 things. I did. I said 2. I said that the top of Bitcoin will either come end of 2024, beginning 2025, and go into a bear market, even though markets will continue after a little bit after that, or we're going to get such a big drop it's going to look like a bear market. Maybe go up a little bit, come back down in the summer, and then maybe we do one more leg towards end of the year. This is based on previous cycles. It doesn't mean it's going to happen 100%. We have to look at the charts when it happens to look at the probabilities and see the momentum and everything that's going on at that time. So I can't make any prediction. I can't tell you exactly what's going on. But that is my view. At this point, let's just focus on getting over the 200 weekly. For some strange reason, my chat's not moving, guys. I'm not joking. Look, I'm trying to move my chat, and it's not working. I don't know what happened. Ah, there you go. All right, so let's go back here. La 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 la. Let's see here. Crisis incoming. La 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 la. Derek Davis says, wow, thank you, $16,000 worth of knowledge for nothing. There's a lot more, Derek. There's so much more. It's not just what that's just like a small part of how much I read. Like, I read all the time. Look at this. Let me show you something. This is a very old school book, How to Make Money in Stocks. This, I sit here and I go over it over and over and over again because it's a learning curve. I have more, like over here. Japanese Candles by Steve Nissan, the one that discovered and brought them to the West, right? This book alone is like $87, right? This book alone is like $87, something like that. It's an expensive book. Maybe it's a bit more. Check it on Amazon. Books over there, books inside. There's so much. I got courses. I went to seminars. Got taught in Teletrade or Profit Point by Teletrade how to do and teach technical analysis. I was in it for years, and I'm still learning. And you might say, Paul, if you're still learning so many years, well, you still learn. I'm still learning Greek, and I'm Greek. There's words out there that they're still out there that you don't know yet. Even his glasses can be written as TA. We want to learn, but how much would you charge? You can, look, you don't have to pay me to learn technical analysis. I'm making a course now. But you don't have to buy my course. You can still learn technical analysis through books I just showed you. You can learn technical analysis by going to other people. You can learn it for free, most part on YouTube until you see it works, and then maybe come and see my course. My course is not just about technical analysis, it's how to invest, trade, and think like the crypto factor. There's a lot more to do. You don't have to learn from me. There's books that you can learn from in the beginning. There's YouTube videos, as I said before. You don't have to pay. Please don't think you have to pay me. I'm not trying to sell you TA. I don't have a TA course. TA is part of my course, but it's not for most people. It's very expensive, and it's more to do how I invest, trade, and think. It's for people that watch this channel a lot, are in my group maybe, and understand like where I'm coming from. I gave you the small example of some of the knowledge I had. But like, again, you don't have to pay me. I'm not telling you buy my shit right now, right? Hey, Paul, I need 4, 6, 8 packs. Old fella, I'm going to tell you something that worked for me better than anything. And I tried the Hollywood diet. I did I did Atkins. I did Weight Watchers. I did high carbs, low carbs, macros in, macros out, fucking keto, whatever, you name it. I did almost every single diet, the egg diet. I did almost every single diet out there. And so there's something about me you have to know. I get obsessed. The reason I know, so one thing you have to be good at or have in you is you have to be not a genius, you have to be either a genius, obsessive, or insane to be able to learn to the magnitude where I learn, how I learn. Because I'm insane. I am literally insane and I'm obsessive. I get obsessed. When I do something, I get obsessed and I go all in. And I research a lot, and back then there was no ChatGPT. I was like getting through books, and like I go crazy. I just love it. I just love learning. When I was dying from cancer, I was speaking to the doctors, and I was diagnosing myself with them so I can learn. And I was telling them different things. They were amazed. I'm not a doctor, obviously. I'm just giving you an example. But I was trying to learn from it. I get obsessed, right? And I read a lot. I love reading and I love learning. I just talk all the time. I try to learn things. I digress. I go to different subjects for no reason. Anyway, I got obsessed with, health and stuff like that in the past. The best diet I ever did, which everybody was shouting at me back then, it was one of the first, was intermittent fasting as a bodybuilder. And everyone was telling me, you're going to lose your muscle, you're that. And I was like, no, I had my arguments against. I'm not going to get into it in this video. This is a crypto video. But let me give you an example. I'll give you a few things. Intermittent fasting, if you just cut out your breakfast and maybe your nighttime meals and have a window where you eat your calories, you will more than likely lose weight. And if you make those more proteins than carbs, you will lose even faster weight. Most people, we're being lied to for years. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. No, it's not. When we're in the prehistoric times and we were living in caves, it wasn't like the fucking Flintstones, where Elma brought you fucking a parrot with like a soup in it and you had fucking breakfast ready. No, most of the times there's no food in there. The man would go out to hunt without food for hours, find food, and would eat maybe once, twice a day if it was lucky. So intermittent fasting is based on that, and that time that you're not eating actually burns calories. Not only that, it's also autophagy for cancer. And before anybody speaks to me about this, yes, my doctors confirmed that there's now light that it does do that. It does help with cancer, and it does help with chemotherapy. So don't even go there. I went through cancer 3 times, so let's just get that out of the way. So if you cut breakfast, and there are some exceptions. We'll talk about it in just 1 second because nothing's black and white, just like technical analysis. If you're diabetic or something, you might have to change things, or anemic, you might have to change things around a little bit. But generally speaking, if you just do intermittent fasting, meaning choose a window in the beginning from 12 o'clock till 8 o'clock. Don't eat before 12, don't eat after 8. It should really help. And then if you put that down to a 6-hour window, you're golden. And then even if you have cheat meals, if you have it in that window, most of the time you'll get away with it. Then over time, if you walk and so on, you'll lose weight. The best diet I ever did was intermittent fasting with high protein, low carb, and with excessive amounts of exercise. It will raise your growth hormone naturally if you're fasting and you actually work out fasted, by the way. Just make sure you refeed and have some carbs once a week. And we can get into it if you want, but I think we have more crypto things to talk about here. What do you do if you're holding Solana? Right now, you sit on your hands and you wait to see if we break under the range or not. Bobby says, don't get me wrong, I like your content. I appreciate it, man. Don't get me wrong, I love you. I like you, but I'm just giving you we can debate and have a healthy debate and disagree. We can agree to disagree here, right? You don't have to accept what I'm saying. We're just having a debate, a discussion, like normal people. Mangas, thank you very much, man. All right, let me answer a few more questions and then end this live stream because I want to go watch The Blacklist with my girlfriend and then work a little bit on my course. Have you been tested on roids, or are you online denying this fact? Have I been tested on roids? I'm on TRT. What are you talking about? Roids are TRT, dude. It's just the amount you take. So, I'm on TRT. Do I have a box here with me? No. But anyway, I'm on TRT. I'm on injections. And the reason is, after having 2 bone marrow transplants and going through chemotherapy so many times and fighting cancer 3 times, my balls stopped making semen. And stopped making, sorry, not semen, testosterone. So I wasn't getting testosterone, and I had a very big problem. So what I did was, my doctors, they put me on testosterone to replace what's lost. Because if you have too low of T levels, you can actually die of a heart attack, not just with too high. You want to be in that range. So they brought me up because nothing worked. My dick didn't work. No, seriously, I'm being honest with you. I mean, fully transparent. I had problems with my girlfriend. We weren't having sex. I was cloudy. I thought it was a chemotherapy. It was actually lack of testosterone. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So I went to my doctor, got checked a few times. He's like, holy crap, you're not producing any testosterone. You're very little. So like, you get injections. I'm like, well, won't that stop my natural production? He's like, dude, you have no natural production. What natural production? I mean, he's like, I'm like, oh, okay. So you just stick a needle in you like weekly or twice weekly forever. That's it. I do every 3 days, by the way. Chicks in my field, the skinny guys over muscles. Sure, yeah, okay, why not? You know, like, I'm not gonna lie. When I started working out, I wanted to look good for chicks because I had a complex because I was a fat boy. But after you actually get the muscles, it's so much more of a feeling, and like you get so much more benefits. It's not just about the chicks; it's also about the guys. Just kidding. But you know what I mean. Ozempic it is. You know what works like Ozempic, old fella? If you try getting raw honey, and I know it's a sugar, I know it's a carb, but it doesn't work the same way in your body. If you try raw honey, just a tablespoon a day, but it has to be real honey, and the darker the better, that actually helps rid of belly fat. Just so you know. New studies. You have to be on a diet too. You can't just eat fucking honey and 10 ice creams and expect to lose stomach and expect to lose weight. But you understand what I'm saying. The problem with automations on computer is suddenly everyone's doing the same. And while it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, after a while it doesn't work as well. So you have to kind of find the outliers. But that's just me. But high frequency trading, they do that, by the way. Paul, how much do I charge for training? I used to charge, funny enough, I used to be an underground gym trainer for a couple of singers, but I can't really charge. But if you were here, maybe. Press the blue arrow. TA doesn't work. I need to tell Crypto Lifer. Yeah, Sammy is fucking amazing at TA. Now, Sammy has a different style than I do. And Sammy's a lot better than me at day trading. I'm not a day trader. I'm a swing trader and long-term investor. And there is a difference there. There's a difference the way you trade. So even with technical analysis, you have different styles and ways you work. Right? You do it, if that makes sense. Just like going to the gym. Other people do high volume. Other people do low volume. Depends on your body type. If you're endomorph, mesomorph, ectomorph. It all changes. It's the same thing with trading, what you're good at. I'm not very good at day trading. I'm good at swing trading and long-term investing. That's my style. If you put me in a day trading competition, they'll fuck me. I'll be wrecked. If you put me in a swing trading position, I'll probably come out on top or one of the top. It's just fact. Everyone has their best ways. Just like I'm not very good at shorting markets. I usually go bullish. Even in bear markets, I don't short. I wait and I take profits faster, but I trade bull markets. I don't short. I don't short markets. I don't even eat breakfast. I try to avoid lunch because it makes me tired in the afternoon. That's because it raises your insulin level, but it depends on what you eat as well. So if you're eating more carbs, that would raise your your insulin levels faster, and it will make you tired faster. Whilst if you keep it more protein-based, it won't make that spike, won't get you as tired as fast. Do you suspect you were exposing to anything like radiation Do you suspect you were exposed to anything like radiation that might have caused the cancer? Well, I had aggressive non-Hodgkin's mantle lymphoma. So maybe I was exposed, maybe not. But it is what I have a very rare case, right? So it is what it is. Paul is Greek passion. Yes, I am. Will Bitcoin go too low to below 40K? That's just a random question. I just talked about ranges and supports and everything. We don't know if that's what you're looking for. I think it's highly unlikely that it will get there by the end of this year anyway. What is your girlfriend's channel when she pronounces it? She's not my girlfriend, dude. That's Briffet the Dance. And she was a kind of like a thing with Bitcoin because she did the Michael Saylor song. And she was like one of the first like girls in crypto that were talking about crypto and Bitcoin panties for Bitcoin and so on. And that's why she's on the channel. People don't know that. She's not my girlfriend, man. Even though she's hot. Pendulous testers, yeah. Atiki honey from Greece. Not the supermarket one. Never buy honey from the supermarket. Not the Atiki one. No. If it's in Atiki, the area, yes, maybe. But if it's the Atiki brand from the supermarket, no, that's watered down sugar. You want to get the raw honey. You want to go to the Laiki. You want to go to the flea market and get that farmer's stuff. Cretan honey is also good, yeah. Cancer can't be hereditary. Yeah, it is. It is. Can you pronounce her name? Briffit Dance. Here, let me give it to you. Briffit Dance. A lot of honey is fake. Most honey is fake. Anyway, thank you very much. Love you all. Thank you for your time. I hope I didn't bust your balls too much about TA. I do get very obsessed and passionate about things. I hope I helped some of you out there. Even if you disagree with me, at least it gives you a different perspective. There's three sides to the coin. There's the heads, the tails, and the edge. And you need to be able to stand on the edge and look at all three sides, including the side that you're on. So I really hope that helps. I really appreciate you. Please hit the like button. I would really like you to hit the like button. I work for likes. This is what I do, right? I'm in it for the likes. That's the only way you can say thank you for free to me. You don't have to buy my course. Just hit the like button. Love you all. Thank you. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.